guys, welcome back. We are here to continue In 5 Years by Rebecca Surley. It is a good book. It's very fast paced, so you're not paying attention. It's gonna fly right past you. So make sure you're paying attention and reading with us. I'm excited to continue. We left off on chapter 7, page 48. Let's put this down even more. I guess that's the lowest it goes. What happened to the blue shirt? David comes out of our bedroom in a black button-down and dark jeans. We're already running late. We're supposed to be at Ruby Rosa in Soho in 10 minutes, and it will take us at least 20 to get downtown. Bella may always be late, but I still like beating her places. It's how we've always done things. Brunch was enough change for 1 week. You don't like this? David hunches down and surveys himself in the mirror above the sofa. It's fine. I just thought you were wearing the blue one. He heads back into the bedroom and I check my lipstick in the same mirror. I'm wearing a black sleeveless turtleneck and a blue silk skirt with heels. The weather says 67 degrees, low of 63, and I'm trying to decide whether to bring a jacket. He comes back in buttoning the blue one. Happy? Very, I say. Will you call a car? David busies himself with his phone and I check to make sure I have our keys, my cell phone, and Bella's gold beaded bracelet. I borrowed it 6 months ago and never gave it back. 2 minutes. When we get to the restaurant, Bella is standing outside. My first instinct is confusion. She beat me. Again. My second is that it's already over with Greg and we're going to have dinner alone. This has happened twice before. Gallery Daniel and, I think, Bartender Daniel. I feel a wave of irritation followed by one of sympathy and inevitability. Here we go again, always the same thing. I get out of the car first. I'm sorry. I start just as the restaurant door opens and out onto the pavement walks Greg. Except he's not Greg. He's Aaron. Aaron, whose face and name have been running in my head on a loop for the last 4.5 years. The center of so many questions and daydreams and forced replays made manifest on the sidewalk now. It wasn't a dream. Of course it wasn't. He's standing here now, and there is no one else he could be. Not a man I've spotted at the movies. Not an associate I once traded work jobs with. Not someone I shared a plane ride seated next to. He is only the man from the apartment. I reel back. I do not know whether to scream or run. Instead, I'm cemented. My feet have merged with the pavement. The answer? My best friend's boyfriend. Babe, this is my best friend Danny. Danny, this is Greg. She snuggles into him, her arms looping around his shoulders. Hey, he says, I've heard a lot about you. He picks up my hand to shake it. I search his face for any sign of recognition, but, of course, I come up empty. Whatever has happened between us hasn't yet. David extends his hand. I'm just standing there, my mouth hanging open, neglecting to introduce him. This is David, I sputter. David in the blue shirt shakes Aaron in the white shirt's hand. Bella smiles. I feel as if all the air on the sidewalk has been sucked back into the sky. We're going to suffocate out here. Shall we? I follow Greg Aaron up the steps and into the crowded restaurant. Aaron Gregory, he says to the hostess. Aaron Gregory. I flash on his license in my mind. Of course. Aaron? Oh yeah, my last name is Gregory. Greg just kind of stuck. He gives me a small smile. It feels too familiar. I don't like it. I feel like I'm just sinking, like I'm falling through the floor, or maybe the floor is falling too, except no one else is moving. It's just me, catapulting through space. Time. Aaron. He looks at me, dead on. I hear David behind us laugh at something Bella has said. I smell her perfume, French rose, the kind you can only buy at the drugstores in Paris. I'm not one of the bad ones, he tells me, just because I know you think I am. I exhale. I feel dizzy. I do? You do, he says. We start following the hostess. We snake around the bar in between the two top tables with couples bent together over pizza and deep glasses of red. I can tell by the way you're looking at me and what Bella has said. What has she said? We pass through an archway and Aaron hangs back, holding his arm out to let me pass. My shoulder brushes his hand. This isn't happening. That she has dated some guys who maybe didn't treat her right, and that you're an amazing friend and you're always there to pick up the pieces, and that I should be warned you'll probably hate me at first. We've arrived at the table. It's in the back room, pushed up against the left-hand wall. David and Bella are upon us. I'll slide in the corner, Bella says. She shoves herself in first and pulls me down next to her. David and Aaron sit across from us. What's good here? Aaron asks. He gives Bella a wide smile and reaches across the table for her hand. He strokes her knuckles. I don't need to look at the menu, but I do anyway. The arugula pizza and ruby rosa salad are what we always get. Everything, Bella says. She squeezes and releases his hand and shimmies her torso. She's wearing a short black ruffled dress with roses on it that I bought with her on a shopping trip to the Kooples. She has neon green suede heels tucked under her, and dangly green plastic earrings clink against her cheeks. I need to avoid Aaron's face, his entire person, him, seated 12 inches across the table from me. Bella tells us you're an architect, David says, and my heart squeezes with affection for him. He always knows the things you're supposed to ask, how you're supposed to behave. He always remembers the protocol. Indeed, Aaron says. I thought architects didn't really exist, I say. I'm keeping my eyes on the menu. Aaron laughs. I glance up at him. He points to his chest. Real. Pretty sure. She's talking about this article Mindy Kaling wrote like 1,000,000 years ago. She says that architects only exist in romantic comedies. Bella rolls her eyes at me. She does? Aaron points to me. No, Mindy, Bella says. Mindy says that. I think it was in the Times, titled something like Types of Women in Romantic Comedies Who Are Not Real. The architect thing was anecdotal. Incidentally, Mindy has also said that a workaholic and an ethereal dream girl were not believable stereotypes either, yet here we are. No handsome architects, I say, to clarify. Bella laughs. She leans across the table and touches Aaron's hand. That's about as close to a compliment as you're going to get, so enjoy it. Well then, thank you. My dad is an architect, David says, but no one responds. We're now busying ourselves with the menu. Do you guys want red or white? Bella asks. Red, David and I say at the same time. We never drink white. Rosé, occasionally in the summer, which it isn't yet. When the waiter comes over, Bella orders a Barolo. When we were in high school, we all took shots of Smirnoff while Bella poured Cabernet into a decanter. I've never been a big drinker. In school, it affected my ability to get up early and study or run before class, and now it does the same for work, only worse. Since I turned 30, even a glass of wine makes me groggy. And after the accident, no one was allowed to drink in our house, not even a thimbleful of wine. Completely dry. My parents still are to this day. I'm in the mood for some meat, David says. We've never ordered anything other than the arugula or classic pizza here. Meat? I'd split a sausage with you, Aaron says. David smiles and looks at me. I never get sausage. I like this guy. I've been preoccupied, possessed since I saw him on the sidewalk. For the first time, I consider the reality that this man is Bella's boyfriend. Not the guy from the premonition, but the one sitting across from her now. For one thing, he seems good and solid, funny and accommodating. It's usually like pulling teeth to get one of her boyfriends to make eye contact. If he were anyone else, I might be thrilled for her, but he isn't. Where do you live? I ask Aaron. I see flashes of the apartment, those big open walls, the bed that overlooked the city's skyline. Midtown, he says. Midtown? He shrugs. It's close to my office. Excuse me, I say. I get up from the table and wind my way to the bathroom, which exits off a little hallway. What's going on? It's David on my heels. That was weird. Are you okay? I shake my head. I don't feel well. What happened? I look at him. His face is studying me with concern and something else. Surprise? It's close cousins with annoyance, but this is unusual behavior for me, and so I'm not sure. Yeah, it just hit me. Can we go? He glances back into the restaurant as if his gaze will reach the table where Bella and Aaron sit. No doubt just as baffled. Are you going to throw up? Maybe. This does it. He springs into action, placing a hand on my lower back. I'll let them know. Meet me outside. I'll call a car. I nod. I head outside. The temperature has dropped markedly since we arrived. I should have brought a jacket. David comes out with my bag and Bella. You hate him, she says. She crosses her arms in front of her chest. What? No, I don't feel well. It was pretty spontaneous. I know you. You once muscled through the full-blown flu to fly to Tokyo. That was work, I say. I'm clutching my stomach. I'm actually going to vomit. It's all going to come out on her green suede shoes. I like him, David says. He looks to me. Danny does too. She had a fever earlier. We just didn't want to cancel. I feel a wave of affection for him for this lie. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll tell her. Go enjoy your dinner. Bella doesn't budge from her place on the sidewalk, but her car comes and David holds the door open for me. I dive inside. He walks around and then we're off down Mulberry, Bella disappearing behind us. Do you think it's food poisoning? What did you eat? David asks. Yeah, maybe. I lean my head against the window and David squeezes my shoulder before taking out his phone. When we get home, I change into sweats and crawl into bed. He comes and perches on the edge. Can I do anything? He asks me. He smooths down the comforter and I grab his hand before he lifts it off. Lay down with me, I say. You're probably contagious, he says. He puts the back of his hand on my cheek. I'm going to make you some tea. I look at him, his brown eyes, the slight tufts of his hair. He never uses product, no matter how many times I tell him everyone needs it. Go to sleep, he says. You'll feel better in the morning. He's wrong, I think. I won't. But I fall asleep anyway. When I dream, I'm back in that apartment. The one with the windows and the blue chairs. Aaron isn't there. Instead, it's Bella. She finds his sweatpants in the top drawer of the dresser. She holds them up and shakes them at me. What are these doing here? She wants to know. I don't have an answer, but she keeps demanding one. She walks closer and closer to me. What are these doing here? Tell me, Danny. Tell me the truth. When I go to speak, I realize the entire apartment is filled with water, and I'm choking on everything I cannot say. Not good. Not good. Why is that doing that? It's on. Okay. Chapter 8. It's nice to see you again, Dr. Christine says. The plant is still there. I assume now that it's fake. Too much time has passed. Yes, well, I say, I don't really know who else to tell. Tell what? The truth of what I have learned. That what I saw in that apartment is from the future. It will occur in exactly 5 months and 19 days, on December 15th. I graduated as valedictorian of Harrington High, magna cum laude from Yale, and top of my law class at Columbia. I'm not gullible, nor am I a fool. What happened wasn't a dream. It was a premonition, a prophecy sketched to life. And now I need to know how and why it happened so I can make sure it never does. I met the man, I tell her, from the dream. She swallows. It could be my imagination, but it seems like it's taking some effort. I want to skip this part, the part where we have to determine what it is and how it happened, the process. The part where she thinks I may be a little bit crazy, hallucinating, possibly working out past trauma, etc. I'm only interested in prevention now. How do you know it was him? I gave her a look. I didn't tell you we slept together. Oh, she leans forward in her brown leather chair. Unlike the plant, it's new. That seems an important part. Why do you think you left it out? Because I'm engaged, I tell her. Obviously. She leans forward. Not to me. I don't know, I say. I just didn't. But I know it's him, and he's now dating my best friend. Dr. Christine looks at her notes. Bella. I nod, although I don't remember talking about her. I must have. She's very important to you. Yes. And you feel guilty now. Well, technically I haven't done anything wrong. She squints at me. I put a fist on my forehead and hold it there. You mentioned you're engaged, she says. To the same man you were with when we last spoke? Yes. It has been over 4 years since I saw you. Do you have plans to get married? Some couples decide not to. She nods. Is that what you and David have decided? Look, I say, I just want to make sure this doesn't happen again, or happen at all. That's why I'm here. Dr. Christine sits back as if creating more space between us. A pathway to the door, maybe. Danny, she says, I think something is going on that you don't understand, and that is frightening to you, as someone whose actual job is to discover and prove causality. Causality? I repeat, if I do this, I'll get this result. She holds out her hands like a weighted Grecian scale. This experience does not fit in your life. You have not taken any steps to have it, and yet here it is. Well, right, I say. That's why I need it not to be. And how do you propose you do that? I don't know, I say. That's kind of why I'm here. Predictably, our time is up. I decide I need to go in search of the apartment. I need something concrete, some form of evidence. Sunday, David heads into the office and I tell him I'm going for a run. I used to run all the time in my 20s, long runs, down the West Side Highway and through the financial district between the tall buildings and across the cobblestones. I run the loop in Central Park, around the reservoir, watching the leaves change from green to yellow to amber, the water reflecting the seasons. I run 2 marathons and half a dozen halves. Running does all the things for me it does for everyone else. Clears my head, gives me time to think, makes my body feel good and loose, but it also has the added benefit of taking me places. When I first moved to the city, I could only afford to live in Hell's Kitchen, but I wanted to be everywhere, so I ran. In the early days of our relationship, I used to try to get David to come with me, but he'd want to stop after a few blocks and get bagels, so I started leaving him at home. Running is better alone anyway, more space to think. It's 9 a.m. by the time I cross the Brooklyn Bridge, but it's Sunday, early, so there aren't that many tourists out yet. Just bikers and other joggers. I keep my head high, shoulders back, focusing on my core pulling forward. My breathing is ragged. It has been too long since I've been on a long run, and I feel my lungs rebelling against the exertion. I never saw the outside of the building, but from the view, I'd have to place it somewhere close to the water, maybe near Plymouth. I get over the bridge and slow to a walk as I make my way down Washington Street toward the river. The sun has started to burn off the haze of the morning, and the water reflects and sparkles. I take off my sweatshirt and tie it around my waist. Dumbo, short for Down Under the Manhattan Bridge, overpass, used to be a ferry landing and still has an industrial feel. Large warehouse buildings mixed with overpriced grocer markets and all-glass apartment buildings. As my breathing slows, I realize I should have done a search before I came down. Apartment views, open listings. I could have made a spreadsheet and gone through it. Why didn't I think of that? I stop in front of Brooklyn Bridge Park, in front of a brick and glass building that takes me the entire block. Not it. I pull out my phone. Do I buy this apartment? I make good money, more than most of my peers, but a $2 million one-bedroom loft seems out of my price range, at least in the next 6 months, and it doesn't make any logistical sense. We have our dream place in Gramercy, big enough to put a kid in someday. Why would I want to be here? My stomach starts to rumble, and I walk west to see if I can find somewhere to grab an apple or a bagel, and think. I turn up Bridge Street, and after a few blocks, I find a deli with a black awning, Bridge Coffee Shop. It's a tiny place with a counter deli and a board menu. There's a police officer there. That's how you know it's good. A woman with a wide smile stands behind the counter and converses in Spanish with the young mother with a sleeping baby. When they spot me, they wave goodbye to each other, and the woman wheels her baby out. I hold the door open for her. I order a bagel with whitefish salad, my usual. The woman behind the counter nods in solidarity with my order. A man comes in and pays for a coffee. 2 teenagers get bagels with cream cheese. Everyone here is a regular. Everyone says hello. My bagel sandwich comes up for pickup. I take the white paper bag, thank the woman, and make my way back down toward the water. Brooklyn Bridge Park is less a park and more a stretch of grass. The benches are full, and I pop down on a rock right by the water's edge. I open up my sandwich and take a bite. It's good. Really good. Surprisingly close to Sarge's. I look out over the water. I've always loved the water. I've had little of it over the course of my life, but when I was younger, we used to spend July 4th week at the Jersey Shore in Margate, a beach town that is practically an extended suburb of Philadelphia if you go by population. My parents would rent a condo, and for 7 blissful days, we'd eat shaved ice and run the crowded shore with hundreds of other kids, our parents happily situated in their beach chairs watching from the sand. There was a night in Ocean City on the ride, spinning on the Sizzler or riding the bumper cars. The dinner at Mac and Manco Pizza and cheese hoagies from Sacco Subs, dripping in oil and red wine vinegar, open in paper at the beach. Michael, my brother, gave me my first cigarette there, smoked under the boardwalk. Nothing but the taste of freedom between us and our fingertips. We stopped going after we lost him. I'm not sure why, except that everything that felt familial, that seemed to tie us together, was intolerable. Like our joy or unity was a betrayal of him, his life. Danny? I close my eyes and open them again. When I look up, I see him standing above me in a bike helmet, half on his seat. Aaron, you've got to be kidding me. Chapter 9. Hi, wow. I scrambled to my feet, shoving my sandwich back into the bag. What are you doing down here? He's wearing a blue t-shirt and khaki pants, a brown leather messenger bag slung over his chest. It's my weekend bike route. He gestures to the bag, shakes his head. No, Bella actually sent me on an errand this morning. Oh yeah? Aaron unclips his helmet. The line of his hair is wet and matted down with sweat. You seem to be feeling better. I put my hands on my hips. I am. He smiles. Good, you want to come? Where? He scoots himself closer. I'm looking at an apartment. Of course he is. I didn't need a Google search. I just needed Aaron to show up right now and lead me there. Let me guess, I say. Plymouth Street? Close, he says. Bridge. This is insane. This is not happening. Yes, I say. I'll come. Great. He loops his helmet over his handlebars and we start walking. You're a runner? He asks me. I used to be, I say. I can feel the sting in my left knee and hip as we walk, a product of not enough stretching and no squats before taking off. I know. I don't get on my bike as much as I'd like anymore either. Why isn't Bella here? I ask. She had to go into the gallery, he says. She asked me to check it out. You'll get it when you see it, I think. Hang on. We're at a crosswalk and he holds his hand back as two bikers speed by. Try not to die on my watch, huh? I blink back at him in the sunlight. I should have worn sunglasses. Okay, now we can go. We cross the street and then we're making our way up Plymouth until we get right to where it meets Bridge, running perpendicular, just where I came from. And then I see it. I missed it on my walk just now, blinded by my search for a sandwich. It's the red brick event space with the barn door. I recognize it now, but not just from that night. I was at a wedding here 3 years ago. David's friends Brianne and Andrea from Wharton Business School. It's the old Galapagos art space, and it's what I saw out the window that night 4.5 years ago. And behind me, across the street at 37 Bridge, is the building Aaron is about to lead me into. Watch your step, he says as we cross the street and make our way to the door. Sure enough, I'm right. It's a brick and concrete building, less industrial than some surrounding it. There's no lobby, just a buzzer and a padlock, and Aaron takes a ring of keys from his messenger bag and begins trying them. The first two don't work, and then on the third, the lock swings open, the chain coming undone in his hands. The steel door swings open to reveal the side of a freight elevator. Aaron uses a second key to call it down for us, this time on the first try. They're expecting you? I ask. Aaron nods. A buddy of mine is a broker and gave me the keys. Said we could check it out today. We? Bella. The elevator lumbers down. Aaron holds the door open and I step inside. Then he wheels his bike in after us. He hits the button for the 4th floor and we're making our way upward, the mechanics of the freight heaving and sputtering as we go. This building doesn't seem up to code, I say, crossing my arms. Aaron smiles. I like that you and Bella are best friends. It's fun. What? I cough twice into my closed fist. What do you mean? You're so different. But I don't have time to respond because the doors are opening, delivering us straight into the apartment from 4.5 years ago. I know immediately, without having to take a step inside, that it's the one. Of course it is. Where else did I think this morning would deposit me? But the apartment isn't at all what it was, or will be. It's a construction site. Old wood beams sit piled in a corner. Plumbing and wires hang unfinished from outlets. There's a wall where I do not remember one being. No appliances, no running water. The space is raw, open, honest. Not a stitch of makeup on. Job for an architect, I say. I get it now. But Aaron hasn't heard me. He's busy leaning his bike up against a wall where I remember the kitchen being, and stepping back to survey the place. I watch him cross the apartment, walk over to the windows. He turns around, taking in the long view. Bella wants to live here? I ask. Her apartment is perfect, an actual dream. She bought it before it even came to market, fully renovated. She has 3 bedrooms, floor-to-ceiling windows, and a galley kitchen. I can't understand her wanting to move. She decorated that place for 2 full years. She still claims to not be done. But Bella has always been one for a project. She loves potential, possibility, and unknown terrain such as this one. The only trouble is she rarely, if ever, sees anything through. I've seen her spend obscene amounts of money on projects and renovations that never ultimately come together. There was the Paris apartment, the LA loft, the jewelry line, the Thai silk scarf company, the shared artist space in Greenpoint. The list is long. She does, Aaron says, or at least see if she can. He's speaking quietly. His attention isn't on his words, but instead on his... I can see him sketching, drawing, molding this place to life in his head. They've only been together 2 months, 8 weeks. Granted, that's 2 weeks longer than Bella's longest relationship, but still. David didn't even know my middle name at the end of 2 months. The fact that Aaron is here looking at a place for Bella to live, that he's taping the walls and stomping the floorboards, it gives me pause. Whatever level they're at, this quickly isn't good. Seems like a big project, I say. Not too big, he says. There are good bones here. And Bella tells me she likes a project. I know that, I say. At this, he looks at me. He turns his entire attention toward me. My lone figure, standing in the swampy, sweaty space, clad in black running pants and an old camp t-shirt, while the potential of the future hangs around us like storm clouds. I know you do, he says. It's softer than I imagine whatever he'd say would be. I'm sorry if I misspoke. He takes a step closer to me. I inhale. The truth is, I saw you go into the deli. I circled around and followed you back to the water. He rubs a hand over his forehead. I wasn't sure if I should say hi, but I really do want you to like me. I feel like we got off on the wrong foot, and I'm wondering if there's anything I can do to change that. I back away. No, I say. It's not... No, it's okay. He gives me another lopsided smile, but this one looks hesitant, almost embarrassed. Look, I don't need to be loved by everyone, but it would be nice if my girlfriend's best friend could stand to be in the same room as me, you know? This room, this apartment, this unfulfilled space. I nod. Yeah, I say. I know. He brightens at this. We can take things slow. No meals for a while. Maybe just start with some sparkling water. Work our way up to a coffee? I try for a smile. To anyone else, that would have been funny. Sounds good, I say. It feels physically impossible to say something interesting. Great. He holds my gaze for a beat. Bella's gonna flip when I tell her I ran into you. What are the odds? In a city of 9 million, less than 0. He goes over to where wires hang unaccompanied off walls. What do you think of putting the kitchen? I offer. He smiles. Exactly. And you could do the bedroom back there. He points toward the windows. I bet we could get a sick walk-in closet. We walk through the apartment for another 5 minutes. Aaron takes some photos as he goes. When we head back down the elevator, my cell phone is ringing. It's Bella. Greg texted me. How crazy is that? What were you even doing down there? You never run in Brooklyn. What did you think of the place? She stops and I can hear her breathing shallow and expectant through the phone. It's nice, I guess, I say, but your place is perfect. Why would you want to move? You hate it? I think about lying to her, about telling her I didn't like it, that the windows have the wrong view, that it smells like trash, that it's too far. I've never lied to Bella, and I do not want to, but she also can't buy this place. She can't move here. It's for her protection as well as my own. It just seems like a lot of work, I tell her, and kind of far. She exhales. I can feel her annoyance. From what? She says. No one lives in Manhattan anymore. It's so stuffy. I can't believe I do. You need to be a little more open-minded. Well, I say, I don't really have to be anything. I'm not going to be the one living there. And we are going to stop there on chapter 10, page 68. This is getting really good. It's going to be, I don't know. I almost want to read the last page, but I'm not going to do that. It'll ruin it. But hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. And I'm definitely enjoying reading it with you guys. I know the phone's at a funny angle, but it's just comfortable like this. And I wanted to just do it in my beds. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you are subscribed to my channel and make sure you share these videos as well. It really helps out my channel when you do. Just put down below what you think of the book so far. I'd like to know how you feel about it. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Bye.